Hey, what it do? What it do, brethren? What's going on? What go on? What the deal? This is your brother Chief Kalanago, man, with another video. This one I'm not gonna make too long, I promise. All right. Just gonna drop a couple of things. I'm certainly sure a lot of people already know about it, but just wanted to, give my own perspective on that. So hope everybody's doing good. All right. Let me just make sure I have audio on here. All right. Audio is good. And we alive. We alive. We alive. We alive. So I hope this video don't get taken down by YouTube or Facebook, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, um I'm just gonna give you a different perspective of Corona, right? And you know, one thing I always tell people is this, right? You know, anything that happens in the United States, remember, okay, there's always a bottom line. And that's one of the things people overlook because they don't know what the United States is. I'm going to repeat myself, and I'm always going to repeat myself. The United States is not a nation. The United States is not a country. The United States is a federal corporation, an entity that was created within the boundaries of the Americas, particularly, okay, within what's called the 50 states. All right. And actually, it was only supposed to be within a 10-mile radius. Okay. It was only supposed to be Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, and a couple of surrounding little islands. That was only what the United States was supposed to be. That was designed or created for the pale Europeans and their descendants so that they're able to do commerce. That's what it was for. All right. But anyway, point being, for me mentioning this is remember anything that happens in the United States, it's for commercial purposes. It is not about your best interests. It is not about anybody's best interest except for the people it benefits, meaning that the people who own the corporation and their descendants. You have to keep that in mind. All right. So when things are happening to you, so-called black people, don't take it personal. You are the one crying to vote your oppressors in a corporation. You feel what I'm saying? And when things don't go your way, you get mad. Don't get mad. It's your fault. You feel me? And when Kanye West told y'all slavery is a choice, y'all thought he was crazy. It is a choice. Okay? You are enslaved mentally because of your ignorance. You feel me? But anyway, I'm just going to kind of break down Corona from a different perspective. And you have to ask yourself, well, is Chief Kalanago crazy or is this man really before his time? But the truth is, I'm not before my time because I came from a realm where there's no time. You feel me? So I'm actually outside of time. You feel me? But my physical body, my avatar, is walking through time. You did? So I just want y'all to get that. So, with that being said, why would they call this so-called disease or virus, why would they call it corona? They could have called it any other name. You see, brothers and sisters, there's no such thing as a coincidence as they tell you a mistake. Okay. What coincidence is with incidents, because co means to be with. If you have a co-pilot, that means the co-pilot is with you. If you have a co-driver, that means that person is with you. You feel me? So co means to be with, to be a part of. So coincidence means that it happens with incidents. It was intentional. All right. So coincidence doesn't exist based on the definition that you were given. Okay. Just want to make that clear. So we're going to look at the definition and then we're going to look at the etymology of corona. All right. And then I'll break that down. Okay. From, how would I put it? A cosmic or metaphysical perspective. All right. If I may. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen and I'll tell you why it's not going away. or you'll have different variants coming, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not what you think it is. Okay. So here we are. Corona. Let me just make sure my screen populates because it has a slight delay. Okay. All right, here we go. Corona. The outermost region of the sun's atmosphere consisting of plasma, hot iodized gas. It has a temperature of approximately 2 million kelvins and an extremely low density. The corona continually varies in size and shape as it is affected by the sun's magnetic field. Now, if you look at the image of the corona on the right side, okay, of my screen, you'll see it looks like a crown, okay, because that's what it is. Now, that is the definition. Let's go look at the etymology of the word, because definition is based pretty much on perspective, and its etymology is really the foundation of the word. But ironically, they pretty much say the same thing. So we are going to look now at the etymology of the word or the term corona. Okay, here we go. And I put all those links in the description for y'all. Okay, and just so you know, they have different forms of corona because it's a crown, it's a constellation, and they have different kinds. You dig? They have different kinds. So this is the etymology of the word corona. Noun, a crown, a crown. Think about what I'm saying, a crown. Now, we were all born with a crown, okay? The top of your head is a crown. And you also have your chakra, which is also not your chakra, your third eye, which is also a crown. You see what I'm saying? So now, when you're looking at it from a metaphysical perspective, you have to ask yourself, well, why did they call it that? Okay? And why would they give you something to counter your crown, which is corona? But you see, people don't think for themselves. You feel me? So I have to do the thinking for them and bring the information, and yet still I will bring the knowledge, and a lot of them still won't see it. You feel me? Because that's what governments are. Governmental, to control your mental, your state of mind. Okay? 1650s, right? Corona, a crown. From Latin, corona, a crown. A garland in ancient Rome, especially a crown or a garland bestowed for the distinguished military service. But let's look at this here now. With many extended senses in botany, autonomy, etc., as a brand of Cuban cigar. But we're going to skip that here for a second. Let's look at the astronomical sense of luminous. Okay? The luminous circle observed around the sun during the total eclipse is from 1809, the two crown constellations. Now you could go look it up yourself. Corona Borealis and Corona Australis. They are constellations. Okay? They are constellations, different crowns. And a crown is in essence is a level of ascension. Okay? From what you may call a peasant, a slave, okay, or allegorically speaking, Jesus the man stepping into the Christ, which is the anointed one. That's a crown. So let me ask you a question. Why would they give you something to combat you getting your crown? You feel me? But once again, maybe Chief Kalanago don't know what he's talking about. But let us read a little more from one of the NASA sites. Okay? Let me go ahead and share this here real quick. Give me a second. Let us share this here. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. This is from NASA, right? NASA TV. Let my screen populate here for a second. All right. NASA Parker Solar Probe and the curious case of the hot corona. Something mysterious, NASA says, okay, is going on at the sun in defiance of all logic. Well, guess what? It is in defiance of the intellectual logic, but it's not in defiance of intelligence when it comes to logic, because Logic deals with intelligence. And you have to realize that man, the original man and woman, they are intelligence. We are intelligence. And mankind, aka the humans, they are artificial beings. So therefore, they deal with artificial intelligence. So certain things that is supposed to make sense to us logically will not make sense to them because they are only intellectual beings. You see what I'm saying? But they had to dumb you down with the Bible, their ideologies, their teachings, the food they eat, the food you eat, the music you listen to. They had to dumb you down so you could become a being of intellectual being or an intellectual being. But the truth of the matter is we are logical beings. You feel what I'm saying? But many of you have devolved into humans. So that's why you can't think logically. You feel me? But anyway, it says, in defiance of all logic. In fact, let me read that again from the beginning. Something mysterious is going on with the sun, just like our story. His story is not our story because our story is a mystery. If you look at the word mystery and you separate mind from mystery, it is me story, my story. You feel me? So we are a mystery. We have always been because we are walking in this world, but we are not of this world. So we have always been a mystery to human beings or mankind. All right. This atmosphere gets much, much hotter. Farther, it stretches from the sun blazing surface. So in other words, the coronal or corona, okay, that is dealing with when it comes to astronomy is getting hotter and hotter. You did? So keep that in mind. All righty. It says temperatures in the corona, the tenuous outermost layer of the solar atmosphere, spike towards, that word spike sounds very familiar, don't it? Spike protein. But anyway, maybe that's just my mind, right? It's just the way it works, right? Spike upwards of 2 million degrees Fahrenheit, while just 1,000 miles below. The underlying surface simmers at a balmy 10,000 Fahrenheit. How the sun manages these feat remains one of the greatest unanswered questions in the astrophysics. Scientists call it coronal heating problem. But my question is, it's a coronal heating problem to whom? Is it a coronal heating problem to man and woman, or is it a coronal heating problem to the humans, male and female humans? You see, my people pray for the lack of knowledge because they don't know who they are. You did. All right. So I just wanted to kind of read a little bit of that for you. Okay. Now, let us go look at the etymology of soul. Okay. Soul, we all know soul deals with solar, right? Solar energy, the sun, right? So here we are. Boom. Let me close that. Let me close that. Let's go back here for a second. Let us go back here for a second. And let me share this for y'all, right? Boom. Where we at? Where we at? Etymology of soul. Boom. Here we go. Soul. Okay. Now, let this screen populate here for a second. Now, I'm not talking about soul number one, the etymology of the noun number one. I'm gonna go to number two, okay? Because number one deals with the substantial entity believed. Okay, it's a belief to be that each person which lives, feels, thinks, and wills. We are not talking about that, okay? We are talking about soul number two. All right, pay attention here, my brothers and sisters. All right, instinctive quality felt by black persons as an attribute. Well, of course, I'm not black. We're not black, but we see what they're talking about. They're talking about carbon-based people, right? Instinctive quality felt by so-called black persons as an attribute. Now, let me ask you a question. Why didn't they say it was an attribute that was felt by every human being? No, black persons, particularly black persons in the Americas, right? 1946 jazz, soul. Also from this sense are what? Soul brothers, soul sister, soul food, soul music. Okay, so once again, we are the soul children. Soul, soul, okay, is synonymous with SOL, soul, because we manifested straight from the sun. We projected here on earth from the sun. So when they're telling you about corona, which is also astronomical, that deals with the crown, why are they making something to combat it and forcing it on so-called black people? I'll let you think of that one for yourself, because sometimes, I just go a little too deep and it go over some people's heads. You dig what I'm saying? So once again, whatever they're giving you to combat your crown is only affecting you and it's not affecting the humans. Okay? Because the humans, they don't have what they call a divine soul. They have a devolved soul. So they could only, how would I put it? They could only access, if I may, okay, certain principles or characteristics of the source. All right? They cannot feel what we feel. That's just the bottom line. And I don't want people to think I'm biased, okay? Soul came from the Americas, not Africa. You see, y'all people got to stop with the BS, man. And y'all get so emotional when the truth is being spoken because of, again, it challenges the ideologies of what you were taught, which are based on theory. I don't deal with a belief system. I deal with facts. Okay? Now, once again, I keep telling y'all that the Bible is an allegory. All right? It's an allegory. Allegory is synonymous with parable. If you don't believe me, let us go look at the etymology of parable. Okay? Let's go look at the etymology of parable. Give me here for a second. Because people, and I'll show you why I'm bringing all that up. Okay? Parable. All right. Parable. Okay? For the people who think sometimes I just be talking, but I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, I don't deal with belief systems. I deal with the knowing because I've tapped into the source. I've tapped into source truth. And trust me, that's real. I promise you that. Okay? Now, parable, an allegory, a metaphorical narrative, usually having a moral for instruction, late 13th century, parable, modern from early 14th century, saying a story in which something is expressed in terms of something else. That's a parable. It's an allegory. So let me ask you a question. All through the Bible, didn't Jesus speak in parables? All through the Bible, didn't Jesus speak in parables? So what is that telling you? He spoke in allegory. It wasn't meant to be taken literally. Okay, for all you believers. And that's why it's imperative to me. I have to write my book and break all this down because too many people are going to perish for their ignorance. And all ignorance is lack of knowledge. You feel me? People think, once again, a sin is sleeping with somebody's wife or using a bad word or, killing somebody's not even a sin. That's not a sin. Okay? A sin is actually missing the mark. And I'm going to break all that down for y'all. You feel me? But Jesus, the allegorical Jesus, spoke in parables, meaning that it wasn't real. It was an allegory. Even the man told you that. You did. And for all those of you, if you believe the Bible is real, okay, literal, then let me show you something else in Acts 17:26. Because like I said, I could break all this down for y'all, which I'm going to do that in my book. Because the world need the truth. And I'm going to give it to them. Okay? Here we go. Acts 17:26. Now, this is just, it has nothing to do with Corona, okay? This is just, a little extra, source, okay? Acts 17:26. And hath made of one blood all nations, that's the God in the Bible talking, right? All nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bonds of the habitation. So, in other words, the Bible God is telling you that He made man, okay, one blood of all nations, and put them in all different parts of the earth. Let me ask y'all a question for all you Pan Africans. Most of y'all are Christians and believe the Bible to be real. Now, if that's the case, how is that your Bible didn't say that all man came from Africa? It said your God placed man, one blood of all nations, all over the face of the earth. In Acts 17:26. So it's either your God is lying or you are lying. So you got to make up your mind. You see what I'm saying? And I'm showing people this to show them that everything that you know and you are taught, there's always, it's in allegorical form. Now, all that stuff I could break down, like I said, which I'm going to break down. But the truth of the matter is, people have to stop being so emotional when people are teaching them the truth. You know what I mean? Instead of getting angry, getting mad, want to curse people out, take the time, do some research, man. Slow down. Because the truth is out there. I promise you it's there. You feel me? And even more so, what I had to do, right? Apart from all the studying that I've done, I'm talking about over 20 years, okay, of research and study. The truth finally came. I'm talking about not belief, but the truth finally came when I had to quiet myself and go within me, man, and ask my higher self to tap into source truth. Not my opinion, not my perceptions, but give me source truth. And it's amazing how my mind just broadened. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. And I just feel so out of place here on earth because it's like I'm just ready to expand. You feel me? But I know I still have some work to do. So I'm going to do it. So like I said, I'm going to break all that stuff down in my book. I went from the very beginning of Genesis. You feel me? And I'm breaking that down so that a child could comprehend. You dig? You feel me? Because you were taught that the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Now, anytime your God have a beginning and your God have an end, then guess what? You're worshiping a false idol. You see what I'm saying? But people don't think. You dig? They don't think. They don't think for themselves because it's contradictory for you to say your God is omnipotent, okay, and omnipresent, but at the same time saying that your God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. So if your God has a beginning, something is wrong. If your God has an end, something is wrong. So I don't want to get too far off topic. I really wanted to come talk to you about a metaphysical, meaning of Corona and who it's truly affecting and what it is. Okay. All right. So when you truly realize what Corona is, and then you take your time and focus on where all this, this solution for this Corona they're talking about, where it's been pushed and pumped into what neighborhoods, then you'll realize exactly what I'm telling you is the truth, because they're giving you something to counteract your crown. You feel me? Your ascension. That's exactly what this is about. And I promise you, they're going to keep coming up with different variations because it's getting hotter and hotter. You feel me? And it's not affecting man and woman. It's affecting humans. We are not the same. Okay? We are soul beings. Humans are lunar beings. Okay? They are water-based beings. You dig? So they're moved by the spirit and we're moved by the soul. It's two complete different entities. One was projected on earth and one was created on earth. And like I said, I'm breaking all that down in my book. You dig? My brothers and sisters, that's what you have a mind for. Think. You see what I'm saying? And one of my affirmations was I had to tell myself that I am able to access more than 10% of my brain's capacity. You see, that's what they're teaching people, but they are not telling you that it's only the humans. The humans, they have limited access to their brain capacity. I'm talking about to divine mind. They cannot tap into that. You feel me? That's why they were put in the Garden of Eden. And it wasn't just one garden. There was a Garden of Eden in Asia and there was one in Africa. I'm going to teach y'all. You feel me? That's where they were created. You feel me? And yes, the Spirit of God breathed into them. But the allegorical God did not give them access to a divine soul. You feel me? So the serpent, of course, which is allegory, anybody who believes in a talking snake, y'all gotta be stupid. Yes, I said it. You feel me? It wasn't a real snake. Okay? It is all allegory. The snake had to give them the wisdom or the knowledge of the truth of the tree of life. And all that stuff is just knowledge, the light. That's all it is, because Lucifer is a light, the illumined one, the solar children. We are Lucifer. We are the light. We brought the light. We are the light bringers. Because they were in the dark. They were born in the dark. What dark means? Dark could mean different things. Dark is actually lack of light, or dark could mean lack of knowledge, ignorant. So they were born in ignorance. That's what you see what I'm saying. But then the serpent came and gave them the knowledge. When they were created without the concept of life and death. They were created to be mortal beings. But the serpent came and let them know, hey, if you eat of this knowledge, guess what? You could be one of the gods, meaning that you could become immortal. But yes, only immortal in an earthly realm. You feel me? Only immortal in an earthly realm. Meaning that their heaven is right here on earth. Okay? So their heaven is our hell. Okay? And our heaven is their hell from the solar. So you have hell on low and hell on high. Hell on low is right here on earth. That's our hell. And hell on high is their hell, the sun. Okay? And heaven on earth is their heaven, and heaven on high is our heaven. Man, listen, man, y'all, yo, I'm done. Like I said, when you tap into source truth, it's like you feel like you do feel immortal. You know what I'm saying? And right now I feel like Superman, because it's crazy how my mind just expanded, and I tap into source truth. And I'm telling you, I'm writing my book and it's just coming to me like, woo, you dig. Man, let me tell you, the truth is out here, man. But you got to stay away from the distractions. You feel me? All this, Ukraine, and all this, abortion, and all this Kevin Samuels and all this Will Smith. Yo, they are literally distracting y'all so y'all don't ascend, so you don't get your crown, so you don't get corona. You see what I'm saying? Man, listen, I got my corona, son. You feel me? I want my corona. You did. And I'm not talking about corona, the beer I don't drink. You feel me? So when y'all realize what's going on, man, y'all either going to think I'm crazy, and that's cool. I already told y'all I'm abnormal, because I gave you the etymology of the word abnormal. I'm not a normal man. You feel me? Normalcy is for people that's indoctrinated. You feel me? Going with the status quo. That's called normal. I'm abnormal. I don't succumb to the things that people think is real. So that's why I tell people my walk, my journey, it's a lonely one, but I'm not lonely, because not everybody get it. Don't matter how I make an attempt to break it down to them, they look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like I'm in a cult, and that's fine. You feel me? But it's going to be a day, and the day will come, when y'all realize that Chief Kalinago been telling y'all the truth all this time. You feel me? So I'm going to leave my mark. And that's why I'm going to write this book and break all. I'm talking about, I went all the way. The name of my book is called In the Beginning Was the Word. Okay? Because if you don't get the word, you have to understand. That's why they gave you that. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word became God. So once you know how to break that down, trust me, that's when you will tap into the truth. You have to know what the word is. And that's the problem. People don't know what the word is. And what they told you, there is life and death in the power of what? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So that means every time you speak, you're either giving life or you're giving death. So if you don't know the word, and you haven't comprehended the word, then 9 out of 10 times you speak, you're giving yourself death instead of life. So when y'all black people realize, don't matter how much you pray, on every corner there is a church and nothing is happening for you, is because you haven't gotten the word. And that's my word, son. You haven't gotten it. You haven't gotten it. You speak the word, but you have no understanding of the word that you speak. So the word that you speak is a two-edged sword. Okay? So it's called self-destructions. Self-destruction. And y'all don't get it. And these pastors and ministers, they are milking y'all. You feel me? They know the truth. Some of them do, some don't. You feel me? Because when I sit with a lot of them, they say, oh, well, Chief, we saying the same thing. You just saying it differently. I'm like, nah. Say it the right way. Don't tell me you're saying it differently. That means that you are intentionally deceiving the people, man. You feel me? Intentionally deceiving the people. So you have to realize that we are different from human beings. We are different from mankind. Now, it's real simple. It doesn't take a genius. Any 2-year-old would ask these questions. Well, mommy, daddy, the Bible speak about mankind. So if the Bible speak about mankind, then who is the man? Because obviously it was modeled after a kind of man, after a man. You feel me? So who's the man that it was created, that they were created from? But nobody wants to talk about that because you think everybody is the same. You want to be segregated with the humans. So when the humans do what they do to you, don't get mad. Don't scream injustice because the humans don't know what justice is. The humans, mankind, they don't know what divine law is. All they know is statutes and codes. And that's what they govern you by. So that's all they know. So I'm not mad at the player. I'm mad at the game because you don't know the game. They are only doing what they know. You feel me? They are only doing what they know. So with that being said, I know I always take it somewhere else, and that's just what it is, right? But with that being said, okay, with that being said, as things progress, time progress, okay, yes, you'll hear more about Corona, and Corona, like it will be like a perpetual thing they'll always talk about, making you think it's some whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? But I just want you to know what it is. What it is. Okay. And it's only beneficial to so-called black people. Okay. It's only beneficial to man and woman. I'm talking about the people who projected here on earth, the people who came, the sun didn't create us. Okay. We projected through the sun because we were the ones who created the sun. You see what I'm saying? And even you have people that teach on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, talking about, oh, well, the sun created us and, oh, the sun is, the sun is Lord. No, the sun is not Lord. We created lords. A Lord didn't create me. A God didn't create me. I created gods. You see, y'all got it reversed, but y'all cannot speak the truth because they gave you fear in your heart. You start speaking like that. Oh, well, it's blasphemy. They don't know what blasphemy is. You feel me? That's just people speaking from a standpoint of indoctrination. You feel me? Because I wasn't created. See, that's the difference. I wasn't created. So I came from a long line of people who projected themselves here on earth. You feel me? It was a projection. It was a solar projection. You did. Because all there is mind. Okay. And mind is activated through what's called vibrations. And when it vibrates, you see what I'm saying? Then thought is ignited. And when thought is ignited, then thought is able to speak without words. But then thought learn how to speak verbally. And that's why you hear physical words. So in other words, the transition was gas, then solid, then gas, liquid, then solid. You see what I'm saying? So that was the projection. Light, okay, is the gas. All right. Then you have the liquids, and then you have the solid, which is the physical body we projected here on earth. But earth is a realm we created for a couple of reasons. And all that stuff is in my book. Number one, it was a place for resources, gold, silver, all the different elements that we needed. We, for a reason. Gold and silver symbolizes love. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, earth was created for that. However, we had no humans to till the ground. We had no robots, none of that. So robots was created. Now, the thing of the matter is, all the so-called gods, okay, or the original people, there wasn't a general consensus on creating the humans. You feel me? There wasn't a general consensus because they knew what happened. We had to devolve in order to create humans. In other words, fall into an animal state of being. So a lot of our ancestors didn't want to do that. But some other ancestors, okay, aka gods, right? They wanted to because you have free will. So there was a separation in mind. And then the separation manifests with the earth separating. I'm going to break all that for y'all. I'm going to break it down. Okay. How the Americas was able to separate from everybody else, because there's a reason for that. Why do you think all the other continents are connected? You could walk from each one, but the United States is the only one you cannot walk from continent to continent. Why is that? Because there was a mental separation. So as above, so is below. Because of the disagreement, then we separated from everybody else. But like I said, I'm going to break all that down. You feel me? So if you don't know who you are, then that's on you. You feel me? Because the Africans and the Asians, they had to devolve to create humans. And that is one of the reasons why we have a long history of Africans and Asians not liking us. But you see, y'all don't know. So y'all think y'all Africans. So then they had to change their diet from eating food with no seeds, okay, and meat, so that they could devolve, so that they could create humans. But what we ate before, we only ate seeded fruits. We didn't eat no meat. And all that stuff is in the allegorical Bible, man. It's in there. It's in there. So the Bible, again, it's allegory, which it speaks of what you may deem spiritual or metaphysical teaching. Okay. And then you have the literal aspect of it, which is, okay, men and women knowing the truth, but because the laymen, they didn't know what it was, they couldn't comprehend, they had to create gods for them. So they use some historical places to inject in there to make it real. But all that stuff is allegory. So like I said, I'm going to break that down for y'all from the beginning, talking and going back to show you why there was a split in the continents, where it split from, showing that North America, which was actually Laurentia, was the first that came out of the ground. You see what I'm saying? And then when America already had life, Africa, Asia was just a small place sprouting little plants. You feel me? So when I talk, I know what I'm talking about. I don't go on beliefs, man. I've done my job. I've done my due diligence. You feel me? I've done it. So the goal was always to kill the firstborn. Why do you think so-called black people in America, don't matter who it is, even real Africans come here and they live a better life than us? Why is that? Why do you think so? It is because we are the firstborn, and the first have to become the last, and the last have to become the first. I'm not saying the Africans was last. No, the humans, the last degraded versions of the humans were the Caucasians, but not just the Caucasians. I'm talking about Khazarians, the Canaanites. Okay, they were the last degeneracy, so to speak. So since they were the last, they had to become the first. But now it is time for the original people, the projected people, the soul people, to step back into their crown. So now they're giving you something to inject into your body so it could prevent you from ascending into your crown, so you could become the king and queen that you projected here to be. I'm done, man. Y'all have a good one. I love y'all.